Right. So, what I think we all know. So when the Vrajvasis didn't give their offerings to Indra and instead offered to Govardhan Hill, and this was on account of Lord Krishna saying to Nand Baba that why do we worship Indra? We should be worshipping Govardhan Hill because he gives so many things. So they all agreed, and then Indra was very upset. He's very angry that he didn't get his offering this year, and he tried to punish and kill the residents of Braj for not worshipping him, which a bit strong to be honest. And he did his best to hurt them, but Lord Krishna, he was prepared. He knew what was to come, so he lifted Govardhan Hill and saved the people and the animals as well. And Indra couldn't harm anyone. So when Indra realized this, he gave his best shot, but when it came to no effect, he realized that Lord Krishna is no ordinary person, and he was very ashamed of having offended the Lord and approaching him in a solitary place. So he came to earth and he begged a meeting with Lord Krishna in a solitary place, and there he fell down and lay his helmet, and it's mentioned that the helmet's effulgence was as brilliant as the sun upon the Lord's lotus feet. So from the commentaries of the Acharyas, we understand that Lord Krishna wanted to provide a solitary meeting for Indra so that he would not be further humiliated, because he thought he was very strong, very powerful and worshipable, and yet he couldn't do anything in front of Lord Krishna. So he was embarrassed in front of the people and in front of the demigods as well. So Indra came to surrender and beg forgiveness, and the Lord allowed him to do so privately. So Indra had now heard of and seen the transcendental power of omnipotent Krishna, and his false pride in being the Lord of the three worlds was thus defeated. Holding his hands together in supplication, he addressed the Lord as follows. So he wanted to give a prayer, glorify the Lord, and this is how he does it. He says, King Indra said, "Your transcendental form, a manifestation of pure goodness, is undisturbed by change, shining with knowledge, and devoid of passion and ignorance. In you doesn't exist the mighty flow of the modes of material nature, which is based on illusion and ignorance. How then could there exist in you the symptom of ignorant person, such as greed, lust, anger, and envy, which are produced by one's previous involvement in material existence, and which cause one to become further entangled in material existence? And yet, as the Supreme Lord, you impose punishment to protect religious principles and curb down the wicked." So in this, he's very knowledgeable. He understands transcendental knowledge. You are the Father and spiritual master of this entire universe. So this is how he sees now Lord Krishna, as the Father and also its supreme controller. You are insurmountable time, imposing punishment upon the sinful for their own benefit. Indeed, in your various incarnations, selected by your own free will, you act decisively to remove the false pride of those who presume themselves masters of this world. And this is just exactly what happened to him as well. Lord Krishna protects religion and chastises the wicked for the benefit of the entire universe. He punishes the living entities indirectly through nature or directly in his incarnations. So in within and without. As mentioned here, he has a perfect right to do so because he is the Father. Lord Krishna, the Lord is our Father. This is how we should see when we surrender to him, that he is our Father, and if he wants to punish us for something we have done wrong, then so be it. He has the right. He is our Father, spiritual master, and supreme ruler of the entire universe. Another way, he curbs down the false attempts of the conditioned souls to establish the kingdom of God without God. Is through his feature as insurmountable time. It is said, "Spare the rod and spoil the child." That is a fact, and it is actually the Lord's mercy that he takes the trouble to rectify our misbehavior, although faithless persons criticize the Lord's fatherly vigilance. So some people complain that the Lord is very harsh, he can be cruel, but sometimes it's necessary to punish or reprimand the child, so he will become a better person, and then the child, in our lives as well, the child will thank you later on, that you helped him, otherwise he could have gone the wrong way. So even fools like me, who proudly think themselves universal lords, quickly give their conceit and directly take to the path of the spirituality progressive when they see you are payless even in the face of time. Thus you punish the mischievous only to instruct them. So put people on the straight and narrow. Engrossed in pride, O my ruling power, ignorant of your majesty, I offended you. O Lord, may you forgive me, my intelligence was bewildered, but let my consciousness never again be so impure. Impure. Well, Krishna can put you in illusion any time. He has that power. So you descend into this world, O transcendental Lord, to destroy the warlords who burden the earth and create many terrible disturbances. O Lord, you simultaneously act for the welfare of those who faithfully serve your lotus feet. Obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Great Soul, who are all-pervading and who reside in the hearts of all. My obeisances unto you, Krishna, the chief of the Yadu dynasty. Unto him who assumes transcendental bodies according to the desires of his devotees, unto him whose form is itself pure consciousness, unto him who is everything, who is the seed of everything, and who is the soul of all creatures, I offer my obeisances. My dear Lord, when my sacrifice was disrupted, I became furiously angry. Now he's sharing his feelings, he's telling him what went wrong, why he did this ghastly act of trying to kill everyone. So he's like, this is a way of apologizing. My dear Lord, when my sacrifice was disrupted, I became fiercely angry because of false pride. Thus I tried to destroy your cowherd community with severe rain and wind. O Lord, you have shown mercy to me by shattering my false pride and defeating my attempt to punish Vrindavan. To you, the Supreme Lord, Spiritual Master and Supreme Soul, I have now come for shelter. So he realized his mistake and he said, I'm glad you helped me, because had he succeeded in destroying Vrindavan and its occupants, he would be very ashamed afterwards. Anger can blind us, and then later on we regret our actions. So Shukadev Goswami said, thus glorified by Indra, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, smiled and then spoke to him as follows in a voice resonant like the clouds. So it's like a voice coming from above. Although in this pastime Lord Krishna appeared to be a small boy, he spoke to Indra with the deep resonant voice of the Supreme Lord. Lord Krishna's response was, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Indra, it was of mercy that I stopped the sacrifice meant for you. You were greatly intoxicated by your opulences and King of Heaven, and I want you to always remember me. According to Shridas Swami, Indra and Lord Krishna here exchanged a heart-to-heart talk like father and naughty son. So Indra revealed his mind to the Lord that he got angry and he felt this and that and he overreacted, and now Lord Krishna is telling him why he punished him, or rather he didn't want anybody to offer anything to him because he was getting a little bit puffed up. So and Indra revealed his mind to the Lord, and now Lord Krishna similarly reveals his own intention. Early in this prayer, Indra emphatically declared that Lord Krishna is in fact everything, and thus according to Indra's own criteria, forgetting Lord Krishna is clearly a state of insanity. When the Supreme Lord reminds us of his supreme existence, he is not proudly advertising himself like a mundane politician or entertainer. The Lord is self-satisfied in his own infinite existence and is trying lovingly to bring us back to our own perfect existence as the eternal associates. From God's point of view, even the mighty king of heaven, Indra, is a mere child, and a naughty child at that, And thus the Lord, being a caring father, punished his child and brought him back to sanity of Krishna consciousness. And so if we get punished, this is why we say it's the mercy of Krishna. He's punishing us to bring us back into sanity. So a man blinded by intoxication with his power and opulence cannot see me nearby with the rod of punishment in my hand. If I desire his welfare, I drag him down from his materially fortunate position. This is why Krishna, he takes away our position sometimes, our opulences, to bring us into sanity. That's the reason. It's not that he doesn't want us to have anything, but if something is an obstacle in our bhakti, then he has to take it away. So Indra, you may now go, execute my order and remain in your appointed position as king of heaven, but be sober without false pride. So Lord Krishna has forgiven him. He says you can continue to be the king of heaven and I forgive you, but be careful next time. So this was Lord Indra's prayers, and he realized his mistake and he wanted to rectify, and he thanked Krishna for helping him. And then Mother Surabhi was also with him, the divine cow from heaven, and she wanted to offer her praise to Lord Krishna as well. So the heavenly mother cow Surabhi, along with her progeny, the cows, then offered her obeisances to Lord Krishna. Respectfully requesting his attention, the gentle lady addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was present for her as a cowherd boy. So it's perfect match there. She's the heavenly cow, and Krishna was dressed as a cowherd boy, and his personality, character was there as a cowherd boy. So Mother Surabhi said, "O Krishna, Krishna, greatest of mystics, O soul and origin of the universe, you are the master of the world, and by your grace, O infallible Lord, we have you as our master." Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out here that Mother Surabhi is feeling great ecstasy as she repeats the words Krishna, Krishna. Krishna lifted Govardhan hill by his mystic power and thus protected the cows of Vrindavan. So this pleased Mother Surabhi very much. And whereas her so-called master Indra had tried to kill them, the Surabhi cow now clearly understand that it is not the demigods, but the rather supreme God, Krishna himself, who is real master forever. You are our worshipful deity, therefore, O Lord of the universe, for the benefit of the cows, the Brahmins, the demigods, and all other saintly persons, please become our Indra. The Supreme Lord is self-sufficient. He can do everything himself. The Lord appointed one of his innumerable children to the position of Indra. So Krishna can just expand himself, become Indra himself, or anybody else for that matter. But he appointed one of the jivas to become Indra, the Lord of the cosmic heaven. But Indra abused his authority, and now Surabhi requests Lord Krishna, the absolute truth, to directly become her Lord, her Indra. We should carefully perform our duties without false pride, thus we will not become obsolete and embarrassed, as in the present case of King Indra, who actually attacked Lord Krishna and his Vrindavan devotees. So we are given a position in life, in management or anything, we should be very careful that we do our duties nicely, with the right consciousness and without false pride. So as ordered by Lord Brahma, we shall perform your bathing ceremony to coronate you as Indra. O soul of the universe, you descend to this world to relieve the burden of the earth. Surabhi makes it quite clear that in this verse that she had enough of the leadership of imperfect demigods like Purandra, who is the Indra in this time, and now she is determined to directly serve the Supreme Lord. Since Brahma has ordered her attempt to coronate Lord Krishna as her personal Lord is authorized by higher authority. Moreover, Lord Krishna himself comes down to the earth to relieve the burden of self-destructive mundane administration. And thus it is perfectly consistent with the Lord's own purpose that he becomes the Lord of Surabhi. Since the Lord rules millions of universes, he has certainly taken care, he can certainly take care of Mother Surabhi as well. In fact, Surabhi wanted to bathe the Lord for her own purification, and she earnestly makes her proposal to Vishva Atma, the soul of the universe, Sri Krishna. So Shukdev Goswami says that having thus appealed to Lord Krishna, Mother Surabhi performed his bathing ceremony with her own milk, and Indra, ordered by Aditi and other mothers of the demigods, anointed the Lord with heavenly Ganga water from the trunk of Indra's elephant carrier. Actually, Iravath had brought a lot of the different the waters from Ganges and other rivers as well. They were already they were intending to give Abhishek to Lord Krishna, and I guess he had probably had a bath for 7 days as well. He'd been holding up Govardhan, so we needed a good wash anyway. So thus, in the company of the demigods and great sages, Indra coronated Lord Krishna, the descendant of Dashara, and gave him the name Govinda. So the name Govinda to Lord Krishna was given by Lord Indra. The Govinda, the protector of cows. According to the Acharyas, because Indra was embarrassed by his blunder of attacking Vrindavan, he was reluctant to worship the Lord. Therefore, the heavenly mothers such as Aditi encouraged him to go ahead and do so. Feeling authorized by the encouragement of demigods less fancy than he, Indra then bathed the Lord. Indra discovered that the beautiful cowherd boy named Krishna is indeed the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the pastime of Govardhan Hill, and isn't it so beautiful? And so it's a lesson. So Lord Krishna, he does these pastimes. In fact, he puts his devotees into illusion, like Indra or Shiva or Brahma. It's just to show us that it's very easy to get illusioned, and we should be careful. And it shows the result of being in illusion. So what can happen when you illusion of lust, greed, and anger. And any of these illusions, which we are, but we have to be careful. We have to be mindful of these things. We are in illusion, but we have to be mindful. So he just reminds us that be mindful that these lust, greed, anger are very destructive. So be careful with them. And then he gives us examples, even from the most exalted, Lord Brahma, Shiva, and Indra. He shows us that even these exalted people can be destructive. So be very careful. So thank you all for joining. Rukmani Mataji, Prem Prakash Prabhu, and Jai Prabhu, Madhav Shamsundar Prabhu, Praveen Mataji, and Siddhanshu Prabhuji, Venkat Prabhu, Swashi Mataji. I think she has problems with the phone, so I think still not fixed. Not to worry. Okay, and iPhone, whoever you are, thank you all for joining, and we'll make a start and have a little discussion on this. Sudhanshu Prabhu, would you like to say something?
I'm sorry. I've listened to you, but
that's okay.
I think nice to see you again after a long time, and yes, I'm just going to listen. Thank you.
Thank you. No problem. Venkat Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think as you said, right, Krishna, the father, was teaching to Indra. So I'm actually feeling Indra took only few minutes to realize that. And where I am, I don't know how many billion bars, I'm still not realized. So maybe this is the lesson learned. I'm taking up.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Okay. Jai Prabhu?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so his praise offered by Indra to Lord Krishna after he's been shamed by Krishna. But basically, I think we all know this story. I mean, it comes every year, during New Year's Day. I mean, the Bhagavatam says, Krishna tells the residents to worship God and Hill, the cows and Brahmins, instead of
Indra.
In Indra, sorry, yeah, because worshipping in Indra will not change your destiny. So that's what he says in the Bhagavatam. Yeah. Yeah. So in this prayer, Lord Indra glorifies Krishna and praises him and begs for his forgiveness. I mean, the key message that stands out for me is that we should all have humility. We should be free from false pride, false prestige. Yeah, I mean, in the Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 16, it says, divine qualities to be modest, and we should be free from the passion for honor. Yeah, Indra describes Krishna as being the father, the spiritual master, and the supreme controller of the entire universe.
Sure.
And he imposes punishment on the sinful for their own benefit. So, and some people only change their ways after they're being punished, and should be thought of as an act of mercy. Yeah. So Krishna explains to Indra that he disturbed, the sacrifice that was meant for him because his mind was intoxicated by being the king of heavens, and that he had forgotten the Lord. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ravi. Yeah, because he got so angry that he got carried away. This is people even like will end up killing sometimes because due to anger. You get road rage. People start beating each other up. They might, if they got a weapon, they hit or even shoot somebody. You see in the films, I know they exaggerate a little bit, but people end up stabbing and shooting each other over little things. So it shows the anger aspect of Indra and how his punishment was very disproportional to the crime, so to speak. What was the crime? That they didn't worship him, so he wants to kill them. It doesn't make sense, especially for somebody who's in that position, in a very responsible position. He wants to kill the whole residents and the animals and everybody. Oh, you didn't worship me, so I'm going to kill you. If he didn't worship you, then you can ask that, why, what has he done wrong? If you're in a humble position, you can ask that, have I offended you people in some way? Why you not give me the same respect that you normally give me? You can find out. But he was just so puffed up. He thought he was so powerful that he doesn't need to inquire. If you don't worship me, don't respect me, I'll just kill you. It's that very wrong attitude, and that was his mentality at the time. This is why Lord Krishna stopped his worship anyway, because to bring it, because he knew how he would react. He was expecting him to react like that, so he was all ready for him. That he would do something silly like that, and then I will just counteract his acts, and then that'll teach him that he's not as strong as and powerful as he thinks he is, isn't it? So that's that. Thank you so much, Jai Prabhu. Okay, Ishani Mataji, are you there? I think Radhe is. I thought it's Prem Prakash, but Prem Prakash is.
Yeah, Haribol.
Haribol, Mataji.
Dandat Pranam, everyone. So, this is a lovely first time, Prabhuji, but after a long time, I've been in such a detail. So, basically, I picked up 3 points from this. One is pride. First one is, and the most important one is pride. Out of 6 anarthas, what do I feel is the pride is the most dangerous one, which can lead to downfall. And it generally, we are a devotee is very humble. He's full of humility, but you never know. Pride comes in humility as well. One can be proud of being humble, and one can be proud of serving, because generally in ISKCON we are lucky enough to get lots of services. So sometimes, pride comes there as well, that we are serving Krishna. But to very beautifully, here, Surabhi has, I think, yeah, she has described that we serve for our own purification. So we should keep that in mind, that service is not what we do for Krishna. It is a chance given by Krishna to us for our own purification. So that is the key point. I really like this point, and we should not be humble. We should not have pride in our humility. And once a devotee has a pride in his humility, nobody can know this except for Krishna and the devotee himself. So that it's a really beautiful point. I like that. And today's pastime. Thank you, Haripal.
Thank you, so wonderful, Mati. Thank you. Yeah, it's the weeds in our bhakti that sometimes in our bhakti creeper we don't realize. Yeah, so it's very dangerous. We don't realize some of the weeds that are sucking up the energy of our bhakti. We think we're going the right way, and we're doing everything so nicely. We're so humble, and we work so hard, and but we don't realize that it's all about the consciousness. We have all these things, but with what, and then if the consciousness is mixed up with false pride, then even the bhakti even our humility can become an obstacle. So thank you for pointing that out. So wonderful. Thank you, Andaji. And should we? Rukmini Mataji, you want to add anything?
Yes, Prabhuji, there is nothing to say. So it was very nice. And Indra was he was always worshipped by his citizens, and still he didn't realize that I am not the main God. Like Krishna is the main personality of Godhead. And he just didn't even think anything about that I can be punished by Krishna. So it's good. Krishna gave him a lesson. So we all should understand we are nothing, just like ants. We are just nothing. So we should be proud of our human beings' birth. That's it.
Thank you. Yes, wonderful. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because it's nice that if Krishna can stop us in our tracks, if we're going wrong, if we have those weeds, if you can just point them out. Oh, by the way, these are the weeds in your bhakti. Then he's the best guy. It's like Lord Chaitanya. He said he's like the gardener, isn't he? So if they can point out to, oh, by the way, these creepers got weeds in there. You need to pluck them out. So nice to be told, because sometimes we don't notice. We think it's part of our bhakti plant, but they were actually the weeds in there. So yeah, excellent. Thank you, Mataji. Partha Prabhu, now you just came. You obviously know this pastime. You want to say anything about the Govardhan pastime, Prabhu, and the actions of Indra?
As Mata, sorry, Prabhu, I missed the class.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that obviously you would know the
Yeah,
pastimes.
but actually, as Mataji explained about the pride is the biggest thing. I just want to share one of the experience which Venkat Prabhu had just in last week, Prabhu, and it's not related to this class,
Okay.
but I want to share it here. So, like Venkat Prabhu, he always think about like why he's not able to distribute the books. And recently he was traveling. He took a cab. He was traveling, and the cab driver asked him like, "Do you know? To which country you belong to?"
Mm.
And Venkat Prabhu said, "I belong to India, and I'm a Hindu." And he asked him actually, "Can I play a song for you?" He said yes. Then he played a Krishna song.
Mm.
And Venkat Prabhu don't know Hindi, but still there is a Krishna word, so he can understand that he's playing Krishna's song.
Okay.
And then Venkat Prabhu asked him like, "Do you like to take any?" Then he asked Venkat Prabhu that who is the most powerful god? You have a lot of gods in your Hindu culture. Who is the most powerful one? Then Venkat Prabhu said, absolutely, it is Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna.
Yeah.
There are many gods. You can worship all the gods, but Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality. And then he asked him, would you like to have any book? And then he said, yes, of course, I would like to have a book. And he gave him one book. And he said, do you have many more books? I can distribute to my friends also. Then Venkat Prabhu gave him 6 books in total. And also he asked him, do you like vegetarian food? He said, yes, I like vegetarian food more. So he gave him higher taste as well. So Venkat Prabhu was carrying that books from long time with him, and on that day, all 7 books went.
Excellent, excellent. That's
Yeah.
that's beautiful story, Prabhu. That's Venkat Prabhu was here earlier. I think he just left when the discussion started. But
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Next time we'll catch him and hear more from him. That's
Yes,
good.
Prabhuji.
Thank you for sharing that, Prabhu.
No
Uh,
problem.
yeah, you saw, I mean, this was obviously a Western body driver, right?
Western body driver, yes.
Yeah, excellent.
And and
Oh,
he's playing Krishna's song, amazing, and it's in Hindi.
oh. It's, Krishna's full of surprises, isn't it? And
Yes.
and they say that people out there waiting, we just have to go to them. People are waiting for the books. Srila Prabhupada
Mm.
says that people are waiting for the books,
Yes,
and
Prabhu.
you just have to go and give them to the people.
Yeah.
Obviously, we try different people, but then those people probably not waiting for them. But there are people out there. But
Mm.
the only way we can do it is once we're there, we can pass them on to them. That's all. That's we just instruments in this matter. So
Yes, Prabhu.
yeah, so that's like we should never be disheartened. I mean, we find that sometimes we go on Harinam Sankirtan, and sometimes you might not do very well. Other times you do really well. You just
Mm.
Krishna sends towards you. So
Yes.
yeah, so that's another thing that nobody should be puffed up. I'm a great distributor. It's Krishna's arrangement that if you're chanting nicely and everything, you're doing a service nicely, then Krishna arranges for you to do book distribution nicely as well. So that's
Yeah.
really good. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, Prem Prakash Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hey, Arvind. Hey,
Hare,
Prabhu. Hey,
Hare.
Krishna. So yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. The good point is it's in Bhagavad Gita, Krodhat Bhavati Sammohat Bhavati Sammohat Smriti Vibhrama Smriti Vamshat Buddhi Nasham Buddhi Nashat Pranashyanti. With the anger comes illusion. Illusion come with the illusion comes somewhat with the illusion, the intelligence is lost, and then when the intelligence is lost, then it's a downfall. So that's what actually comes with Indra, and Indra is a position to be understand, and it's not just one position. As we grow up in whatever ladder we have, whatever responsibility we have, if we are doing it well, not well, we always get kind of attached to it and proud of it. Basically, Prabhupada says. Beggar is also proud of its penny, basically. So I earn more, a few more pennies than you. So it is there from very lower living entities to the highest. I mean, the highest living entity, not the highest, but still. For in Indra's case, he's a Prajapati, basically. He is the ruler of all the entities, living entity. I mean, so he's Prajapati somehow, the king. So king subjects are just like sons and sons and daughters, whatever are there of the king, basically. And king can't be just saying, can't do like that. Okay, I mean, a father can't do to a son that you did something wrong, I'll kill you. You can punish, but you can't really kill. So drowning is something which is illusion. It's basically not the right act. Also, Brihaspati ji tried to warn Indra of certain thing, basically not to be proud of this thing and be careful of Krishna. But he ignored. He wasn't. He firstly he is getting angry out of the scriptural instruction. Secondly, he is not hearing to his guru, and that's where Krishna comes in, because if you don't listen to guru, then Krishna might want to correct you sometimes, basically. So that's also a very important point. But eventually it is important that we realize that if we come to know that we have done something wrong, then we need to realize that we have done something wrong. We need to acknowledge it. We need to ask forgiveness. And Krishna is kind enough to actually to forgive in certain cases if it's not offense to devotees, and if you actually ask for forgiveness from devotees and Krishna, then Krishna will forgive. So at our stage, whatever we do in our daily life, we ought to make we would make lot of offenses going forward, knowingly, unknowingly. The best thing is to acknowledge that we are fallen entities. We can't do it. If we know if we know something we have done wrong, then we must acknowledge it, apologize for it, hardly feel that we have done something wrong, and ask for forgiveness. So that is very important. After, we need to correct ourselves as well. So that is also is exemplified, and uh, I learned from this past time is that if we do something, we need to apologize. We need to acknowledge that it's something we have done wrong. And that's the only way to get forward. Many examples are there, like Subharimani, and many exemplified devotees are there. After making mistake, they will apologize, because it might not be the intention to do it, but they have done it. That's what I think.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, I mean, we have 4 defects, and one of them is committing mistakes. So this is that's one of this is a natural defect. And Krishna, because he's our true father, he understands that, and that's why he forgives, because he knows it's our nature to make mistakes. But we should make the same mistake again and again. That's one thing we should always be mindful of, that we don't make the same mistakes. And he's the proper father, and he forgives us. And I mean, in fact, Indra, he asked for forgiveness, and in the prayer he also says that, please bless me, Lord, that I don't fall into this false pride and anger again. That my consciousness is not never comes into illusion. But in fact, when Lord Krishna, when he incarnated, and he went to the heavens with Satyabhama, and he brought back that tree, and he was attacked again by Indra. So although when Krishna was young, he had asked for forgiveness. Indra had asked him for forgiveness, but then at a later stage when he was married, he still went to the illusion, and so he was not after a very long time. It was soon after that he again attacked Lord Krishna, and then Krishna had to remind him again that who is the supreme. So it's Indra's, I think, is his nature, the position he holds, gets very puffed up with that position. So that's the nature of most, whether it's demigods or human beings. Now the main thing is that we do make a mistake, we should quickly try and realize it, and ask for forgiveness that we made a mistake, and Krishna is forgiving, so he will forgive us. But whereas the demons don't, they just keep making mistakes after mistake, and they don't ask for forgiveness. So we have Parveen Mataji. Mataji, would you like to add something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, very nice pastime, and it's beautifully explained by everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really add. Yeah, so we have to nurture our qualities, pridelessness and humility, and like they say, the pride comes before fall. So we can see from the example of Indra. And I was just thinking, so even the demigods are not free from illusion. So we conditioned souls, so we are under illusion as well. So I think Krishna consciousness should help us to, keep our senses in control and to be free from all the bad qualities, really.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the beauty of Krishna consciousness and the association of devotees, that we can go over those things again and again, keep reminding ourselves of these defects, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Next week. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your wonderful input and wonderful discussion. And next week we'll talk about Narad's instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam to Vyasadeva. So that's quite interesting. We'll discuss that next week. And this Sunday is the Lord's Gaura Purnima. So we're looking forward to the Saturday and Sunday programs. It's going to be beautiful weekend, and so we look forward to that. And now we'll do 2 hopefully attentive rounds, and we'll start with the Rukmani Mataji. Let me start, and then Praveen Mataji do the second round, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासुदेव गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे